Here it is, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced on the RX 9060 XT 16GB version of the GPU, the Asus Prime version of the GPU. You can see all the specs right here on GPU Z. It's the latest driver, 26.6.4, paired up with the i5 12400F and 32GB of DDR4 memory running at 3200 MHz. That's it. Nothing is overclocked. You can see the afterburner here. So base speeds, everything. And yes, I'm really sorry that I made you wait for so long. I know you've been asking for a while too for this particular video, but here it is, man. I got you, okay? I told you I will get to all the GPUs that I have pretty much on this game because, you know, it's an Assassin's Creed and a beloved remastered. So yeah, I have to go through all the GPUs that I can, as much as I can. So here it is, man. So let's see how the 9060 XT is going to perform in this game. As you guys already know, I'm going to start it off on 4K maxed out with FSR Native anti-aliasing. So no frame gen, and you can see extended ray tracing and also ultra high preset as always. So let's see. My boy is sitting on the ledge of window and we're getting 23 FPS using 11 GB as we've seen in the previous tests. On the 5070, the 3080 Ti, and even the B580. It takes a lot of video memory to run this game, maxed out settings. I'm curious to see how it's going to be on the 5080 though, so that's going to be the next one, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah, 9060 XT is running the game really, actually not bad, you know. I was expecting something around, oh shit, you know, like 15 to 20 FPS, but it's actually getting more than 20. It's a good sign. So with the help of some upscaling, we can see really decent results. I hope so. Let's start doing some upscaling. So instead of native, we're gonna have to go to performance mode because this is still a mid-range GPU. So, you know, you gotta go to performance mode to meet its actual performance. 52 FPS. So yeah, with ray tracing and everything maxed out, you can barely get to 60 FPS, which is what I expected. You know, I wasn't expecting way too much because the 5070 is way better than this when it comes to the performance, and that thing can barely get to 70 FPS on these settings. But again, that's DLSS. It's slightly more intensive than the FSR that we have here. I think it's FSR 3 and not FSR 4 that's implemented here. I'm not pretty sure, but yeah, doesn't look bad whatsoever for performance mode. But again, I think it's FSR 3, guys, because when I look in the distance, it's not as sharp as FSR 4 image quality, so I'm pretty I guess it's FSR 3 here. So again, pretty, you know, not the best. I wish it was FSR 4, but this is the native settings that the game has. I don't know why Ubisoft decided FSR 3 is the way to go, especially when FSR 4 is an option. So I don't get it, man, but whatever. 57 FPS base is not bad, which means with a little bit of frame gen, we should be able to play it on a decent, like a 90 FPS or something like that. Let me see. No FSR. It's too bad we only have 2x frame gen. And I heard rumors that 8x frame gen is coming on FSR. They're doing something behind the scenes. So we hope to see that happening. If that happens, I'll be testing a bunch of games with MFT. Yeah, as of now, we're only getting 2x frame gen, which is, in my opinion, enough for this game. You know, so on 4K, it is pretty playable, guys. When you max the game out, you can see we're getting 93 FPS here. Actually, not bad at all. You know, it's really playable, and I don't see any artifacting or anything. It is actually doable on these settings. So what about keyboard and mouse? And mouse, man, that feels super responsive, like really responsive. I don't see any issues whatsoever. So if you want a 4K monitor with a 9060 XT, this is actually really playable. You can play it like this without any issues, you know. And again, this is a 1440p card at best, not a 4K focused card like the 9070 XT, but it can definitely pull off 4K like this with some upscaling and frame gen with decent frame rate, you know. 88 FPS is really playable, guys. So I think that's good enough for ultra settings. I mean, maxed out settings. It's actually doable. I'd just stop it right there, but just for the test and see what we can do with the native settings instead of using all the upscaling. I want to see how it's going to be. If I disable and go back to native FSR, and then turn off frame gen, and maybe use no ray tracing and high. Let me say medium. Let me see medium. Medium might be able to get us to 60. And again, kind of skeptical, but let's see. Why is this man always sitting on top of this ledge every single time I load back in the game? Like, I don't understand, but yeah, even medium native 4K is intensive, guys. Look at that. 40 FPS. That's all you can get. So, but man, it looks really good, even on medium settings. I wouldn't go past medium, you know, lower than medium, because medium seems to be the best visuals. It still looks good on medium settings. If you go to low, you can actually see the differences on the foliage and all of that. So yeah, medium is the best way to experience it. You know, it gives you the best visual fidelity without compromising a lot on the FPS. Because the game still looks really good, man. Yeah, 38 FPS all you can get on medium settings. Is a shame, but that's what it is. Just want to see the native performance with this thing. So that's FSR. What if I use TAA instead? Is that gonna make a difference? Let me see. Oh yeah, TAA gets you to 43. I mean, what, 4 FPS difference? That's actually not bad. 4 FPS is like 15% better than FSR Native. And it actually looks pretty good. I don't see a big issue with TAA. Okay. Actually good, guys. This is actually pretty good. I don't expect TAA to perform better than FSR, but here we are. But on top of the buildings, it's actually going to the 40, so not a big difference, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you're on TAA or FSR. Pretty similar performance, so yeah, that's medium settings. I think that should be enough for 4K. You guys can definitely play the game maxed out if you want to. But if you don't want to use frame gen, I think I'll test out one more settings before I go to 1440p. So I'm gonna, instead of medium, I'm gonna use maybe very high, and then use no frame gen and use performance mode. That might be the way to go. If you hate frame gen, that might be the way to go. So let's see. All right, so I restarted the game. You can see now 4K performance mode and very high settings without any frame gen. All right, and we are getting 85 FPS. So there you have it. I'm gonna suggest this as the best mode to play the game on if you hate frame gen. So I know there's a lot of people that just straight up hate frame gen, even though it's actually playable. So this is the best settings for you guys out there. Now, so yeah, 72 FPS, man. This is gonna be really playable right here. If you go to ultra high, it might drop into the 60s, and again, that means there's another chance that it's gonna drop even further down into the 50s if you like go up on top of that and synchronize with the entire aerial view of the city. You don't want that. So yeah, see, even here is dropping into the 60s when you look into the harbor area over there. So it will get definitely intensive the more detailed the area is. So yeah, just keep it to very high, man. It looks really good on these settings anyway. So yeah, I think that's enough for 4K. Now let's try out some 1440p. It's the sweet spot for this GPU. Alright, time for some 1440p. Back to native anti-aliasing FSR. Now frame gen and everything maxed out. So let's see. And for the first time, bro is actually on the ground, not on top of a building. 40 FPS with everything maxed out in native settings. Okay. 36. So that shows you, man, this game is actually really intensive on these maxed out settings. We're only using 9 GB of VRAM though. I'm pretty sure on the DLSS settings it was using more than 10 GB, but on FSR, like I said, it's slightly less intensive or demanding. Getting 35 over here, so it depends on where you are in the game. It's gonna be intensive. And right here is kind of more demanding than the other ones. Yeah, 37, 38 on these settings. I didn't have like high expectations on these settings, so it's not bad, but could be better with some upscaling. So let's just do that. So instead of FSR, if I go to TAA, that'd be better though. Let me see. Actually, nah. I mean, it's maybe like 2 or 3 FPS better, just like we saw on 4K. But yeah, TAA anti-aliasing native is actually sharp enough. We don't see any issues so far. Now the character models look pretty good. But again, not as good as DLSS. Come on, man. NVIDIA is just really good with their DLSS technology when it comes to the sharpness and all of that. And again, this is FSR 3, I believe, so it makes total sense why it doesn't look that great with FSR on. If it was FSR 4.1, it would have looked super good, but yeah, it's not. All right, so TAA doesn't make a huge difference. So let me go back and enable some upscaling with FSR. I'm gonna use quality mode. I don't think going below quality is a good idea. It gets you to 55 FPS, and even now it's still pretty sharp looking, the image. But if you look in the distance, you see that see the ROP that's tied to the pole over there on the ship. Yeah, that is not looking that sharp, especially when you move around. You can see the jaggedness of the edges. So, and this is a quality mode of 1440p, so it could be way better. But it is just what it is, man. 43 FPS. It's a really demanding area right here. Man, look at that. It just looks so good. 45, okay. Can make it better by enabling some frame gen. Okay, frame gen enabled. Look at that, 79. Why does she look like that? There's something wrong with her face, man. Did you see her? The heck was that? Well, never mind. Let's keep it going. You can see 76 FPS. Upscale from 40. I mean, actually 80 FPS upscale from 40. So not bad. How about the responsiveness on keyboard and mouse? Is it playable? Yeah, it is pretty responsive. Yeah, I don't see any issues with this, you know. Yeah, it's pretty responsive on keyboard and mouse, guys. So if you're on keyboard and mouse, this is going to be pretty interesting or comfortable to play. So, hey, if you want max graphics at 1440p, this is the best way to play it. You need to have frame gen enabled, otherwise it's not going to play this smooth. Like you guys saw, can barely get 40 FPS, so not a good idea. You definitely need to go to quality mode and use the frame gen to make it really playable. Yeah, with these settings, I don't think it's gonna ever drop to 60, so you're pretty safe right here. Again, my recommended settings is gonna be this, but if you hate frame gen like the other ones, we have to find a different settings for that. But before that, let me see how it's gonna be if I just go to very high or high settings and use native FSR. I want to see if it's going to be able to pull it off at 60 FPS or not. All right, so after the restart, you can see we're back at native anti-aliasing on FSR. And now frame gen, we're using high settings. Let's see, man. This should definitely get us to 80 FPS or something like that, because the 5060 was able to get this to 60 plus FPS. And this is way stronger card than that, so... Wait a minute, 62? 65? Was I tripping? Or... The 5060 was actually able to get to 60 FPS, right? Oh, maybe not. Maybe that was at 1080p, not 1440p. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, 1080p was able to get 60 FPS on, you know, these settings on high native DLSS, but 1440p, I think it was around 40 FPS or something like that, if I'm remembering things right. Man, even on high settings, this is still pretty intensive at native 1440p. Wow. Okay. I want to go and do that mission, but maybe later, man. I don't want to do any missions while I'm doing a benchmark, and then I have to cut out the cutscenes from the video. You know, I'm not into all of that. Just roam around. You guys are here for the performance, not the actual cutscenes and stuff, right? So, oh, look at the birds flying on top of the building around the cross. Pretty neat. But yeah, man, not quite enough for it to get to 60 FPS or high settings. It is kind of crazy. So medium will be the way to go, but I'm not going to test out medium setting right here. So high settings and a little bit of upscaling, maybe quality mode should do the trick. So that's what I'm going to go for. And there it is, 72 FPS. Now it's upscale from, not upscale from anything. It's just 74 FPS. I forgot we don't have any frame gen turned on. So man, yeah, it still looks pretty good on high settings. quality mode is still sharp enough for, you know, for anybody that's looking to have a fun time. You can still see a little bit of, you know, slight blurriness here and there on the edges, but just avoid it and just ignore it. You know, you gotta like peek into the screen like this to actually see them up close. But other than that, quality mode is totally fine here. I don't see any issue, and we're getting like 75 FPS. Totally comfortable. These guys are having a great time over here. Okay, really good, guys. I like this 82 FPS. So high settings with quality mode, completely playable. So I think that's good enough for 1440p. Now let's test out 1080p, see how it is. And now finally 1080p, back to native settings like I said, and now frame gen and maxed out, extended ultra high. Okay, see man, let's see 50 FPS. So yeah, really intensive even at 1080p. It is a really intensive game when you max out with ray tracing. And again, not pretty bad considering this is a AMD GPU, which is a mid-range GPU as well. The 5070 was able to pull off 60 FPS on these settings. But again, I believe that card is at least 20% faster than this. So, you know, you expect to see that type of performance out of this thing. I mean, out of that thing. This one is not bad, but still 45 FPS. Not good enough for us to get to 60. Which is why we will need to go to quality mode to make it 60 FPS. And even that is using 9 GB of VRAM. Yeah, the performance was kind of janky on the 5060 on these settings. Because, you know, it only has 8 GB of VRAM, so it was struggling a little bit whenever you move around the mouse a little too much. But since this is a 16 GB card, we have enough headroom for everything and just runs the game perfectly fine, even if you change the settings. You know, doesn't need to refresh the VRAM buffer or anything. So we're only using 9 GB of VRAM right here, so it's playable, but as you guys see, we're barely getting 60, so still not enough for a smooth 60 experience, because it's definitely gonna drop down, like you can see right here. So yeah, we need some frame gen to make it better on 1080p, guys. So, and that takes the VRAM usage close to 10 GB right there. You can see that. And now it's upscaled from 50 to almost 100 FPS. Just still not bad, but see, if you move the mouse around a little bit slower, I mean the whatever camera a little bit slower, you can see in between his arms and his waist. See that little artifacting going on? See that? So yeah, that's the only thing that I'm noticing so far. Around his head is totally fine, but the birds flying around doesn't seem to be artifacting or ghosting or anything, but it's just that in between that gap. I don't know. It's not a big deal though. No. So this is actually really... Oh, hell no. I thought I died. I thought I was going to definitely die there, but for some reason we didn't, so it's all good. So yeah. Can actually max the game out with the 9060 XT if you just use a little bit of upscaling and frame gen. And you can see the i5 12400F is at 60% used. So it's CPU intensive, especially on lower resolutions, but we are still maxing out the GPU, so not a bottleneck whatsoever. Pretty good, man. So maxing out the game is actually possible with some upscaling, which is definitely not the case on 8 GB cards. But yeah, not bad at all. Pretty good start on 1080p. So let me turn off frame gen and see how it's going to be without the ray tracing, just ultra high. And now frame gen, I'm just going to keep the resolution to quality mode. Yeah, you definitely need to be on quality mode, because even with ultra high, now ray tracing still like 69 FPS, 70 FPS. So it's really intensive, guys. So if you don't want ray tracing, this is also another way to go. But again, why would you do that when you can play the game at 90 FPS with some frame gen and ray tracing, right? So I don't see any pointing in playing it like this, but hey, it's all up to you. You guys can see the performance yourself. If you don't want ray tracing and frame gen, it's a good way to play the game, man. No issues right here. So go at it however you want. And now for one more thing, I'm gonna see high settings on native FSR. I think that should be pretty good enough for 60 plus FPS, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Okay, and there it is, guys, 70 FPS. Now that's what I was waiting to see. So it makes sense. On the 5060 we are barely getting 60 something FPS, and here we can get 70, 75 FPS, which is way better. Yeah, my calculations were right, and yeah, that was a little wrong right there, the jump. And you can see it's gonna drop down into the six. Oh shit, my bad, bro. 71, 73, even over here. So running really well. Oh yeah, I didn't check out underwater. Let me see. Bro, why is this thing blocking my way? All right, let's go. Go underwater and see the performance. Look at the coral. Oh, it looks really beautiful. 73, man. So it's pretty stable across the board. No issues whatsoever. But yeah, man. Black Flag Resynced. Really solid experience. I have pretty much no complaints. It runs really decently, and you can even make it playable with ray tracing and everything maxed out. With help of FrameGen and upscaling, you have to do it. Doesn't matter what GPU you're using. At some point, you have to use it to make it playable. Unless you're on a 5090, it's going to be really difficult these days to max games out, especially on native settings. So yeah, not bad whatsoever. See, 66 over here, so good, guys. This is high settings native, so not bad at all. So yeah, I think that's a good way to end the video right there. The 9060 XT can definitely run this game really well, like you guys saw. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. And if you like the video, if it was helpful, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more benchmarks. And yeah, hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are. I'll catch you guys next one. So take it easy and peace out.